Hey there, everybody. Let me get signed in to the YouTube here. And let me turn down the computer volume. Get the live chat going. We'll just give it a few minutes for people to come in. If you're watching this on the replay, hey, Jane, welcome in. We're going to talk about Nancy Guthrie today, missing day number 53. I just need a few minutes to let people come in. Well, thank you for the thumbs up. Appreciate that. You know, I almost didn't come on, but I feel guilty if I don't because I'm thinking about Nancy. Adjust the mic. Yeah, I heard last night that some people weren't able to comment on some of the videos, and that was a YouTube issue. I think it's straightened out by now. I got a couple messages like, "Oh, I couldn't type." Well, I'm getting the message now. So there's always YouTube issues, technical glitches. Nobody here is blocked, so sometimes with YouTube it just doesn't work out. Hey, Kelly. Yeah, I was just explaining while we're waiting for people to come in that I think there was a YouTube issue last night, and because I received some more comments this morning that people couldn't comment. But obviously they're able to comment now because they're telling me that they couldn't comment. I rescued you from being, oh, Kelly says, I'm still like not all the way there yet. You rescued me from watching crappy reality television. Well, thank you, I think. Got 6 people in. This is going to be just the latest in some of my thoughts on Nancy Guthrie. Hey, 19 people, welcome in. My name is April Davis, April Davis PI. I am a licensed private investigator in the state of California, USA, and I've been doing a live true crime series on missing Nancy Guthrie. Yeah, the mom of today co-host Savannah Guthrie. We're in day number 53, and I almost didn't come on today, but it's like I feel like I need to keep this thing going. We'll talk about it, but before we do, I want to bring up something from the last few days where we covered a couple of other people like Joseph Duggar. We also covered Jonathan Lee Riches from JLR Investigates. And I do have to remind everybody here that on my channel, no one is guilty, not even in the public court of opinion. Everybody here is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I'm an investigator. I would never, ever call somebody out on this channel. Everybody deserves a fair shake. Even the Menendez brothers who unalived their parents. Everybody deserves a fair shake under the law. Joseph Duggar supposedly confessed to his father-in-law. However, he allegedly, reportedly confessed to a crime that happened in Florida. He has not yet been charged in Florida. He and his wife, they have only been charged with some misdemeanors in the state of Arkansas that may or may not pertain to the children having locks on their doors that were only accessible, unlockable from the outside. But none of that has been confirmed. We will not call him guilty unless he is arrested, charged, and convicted. Okay? Same with JLR. This man has a very long criminal history. He's been in prison, federal prison, for 10 years. On the civil side, he's a professional plaintiff, so they say, with thousands of suits, so they allege. But these recent allegations that are not even criminal charges, they're simply civil allegations against him, those have not been proven yet in a court of law. If they're true, and he harmed a woman, anybody that harms females, animals, or children are despicable in my book. But he has not been charged. Let's repeat that. He has not yet been criminally charged. There's two sides to every story, and I say this on all my videos, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. If I have to climb on the highest mountain and shout it out, everyone on my channel is innocent until proven guilty. So make very, very sure that you're just careful in the comments. Oh, hi, Christopher Beck. Hello, Crypto. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Now, this video today is about Nancy Guthrie being missing day 53. And I can't show, or I'm not even going to play the audio of the video because I'm in the process of trying to get remonetized for YouTube, as you guys know, and I don't want to get in trouble. However, Savannah Guthrie did make a Today Show appearance. I believe it was pre-recorded. She wasn't actually, working as a hostess there today, but she did make a video with her replacement host, who is Hoda Kotb, or Kotb. Sorry, I've always had a hard time with Coda's last name. Hoda Kotb. She did a video with Savannah today. They only showed a small portion of it. I've already seen it 3 times. I can't watch it anymore because it'll bring tears to my eyes. And after yesterday's fiasco with calling 1-800-CALL-FBI, I just started to get depressed about this. Like, oh my God, what if this woman is never found? Now, I don't believe this is a cold case. Oh, thank you, Crypto. I don't agree with that, but thank you. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. This is hard. This is really hard because so much time has passed. So many mistakes have been made, especially by Pima County Sheriff. We don't know what's going on in the background. The tip that I called in, it's only a possibility because I don't have all the pieces of the puzzle. I haven't received any return calls from any special agents, so I doubt they took it. They probably just threw it in the damn garbage. I recently have been seeing a woman who is an investigator named Cheryl McCollum. I've seen her pop up a few times today on the tube. And she brought up a point in an interview with News Nation that I had brought up over a month ago, that how unforgiving the weather and the desert will be in the coming days, weeks, and months. This disappearance happened February 1st, which is in the middle of the wintertime. And in most places, that would be cold weather and snow and ice and misery. But in Arizona, places like Vegas and in Arizona, that's some of your best weather of the year. It's like Palm Springs, California. That's the only time that it's bearable, is like December, January, February. By the time spring comes, it's already summer. Fall in California is like the worst. So your winter months are your best months. If God forbid something happens, there's some type of an emergency, and you have to go out and hunt for somebody in the desert. You won't be able to do that 9 or 10 months out of the year. So even though this was a horrible crime, it couldn't have happened at a more better time as far as being able to go out and search. And apparently they had search dogs at her house that were borrowed from Border Patrol within a day or two, but then there were no more dogs out. There was no more searching. There was no canine teams. There was a few sniffer helicopters that were sniffing for electrical radio signals from the pacemaker. But, I've talked about this over and over, and this woman, who I'd never heard of before, this Cheryl McCollum, she was talking about how she just came to Phoenix or Tucson, and it was already 105 degrees. And she mentioned the same thing I've mentioned on this. You can go back to the old videos over and over and over again about the wildlife. the rattlesnakes, the bobcats, the mountain lions. Let me turn off I forgot to turn off my notifications. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. We're running out of time. Apparently, there's this organization called the Cajun Navy. They offered, looks like I'm a little too low here. They offered to come out. Sorry about that. I've got to get better equipment. They offered to come out and search, and they were turned away. When the neighborhood, just volunteers, local volunteers, just everyday ordinary citizens were like, I want to search. The sheriff was like, well, you'll have to have a permit for that. And don't go onto private property. You'll be charged with trespassing. Like, it almost sounds like someone doesn't want this case to be solved. And now I can see why people are pointing the fingers at him. Not that he had anything to do with this, but I can see why people are going down that rabbit hole, because it's like he's trying to do everything he can to mess up the evidence or not solve the case. You need boots on the ground for something like this. Hello, hearts. I missed some messages while I'm going over this. Let me see. The more important, it's hope and support. Good luck. She talks about lots of different cases. Okay. Sorry. I got to say my thoughts before I get... Cliff, welcome in. I will move in and help the search full-time if given a reason why this case deserves more attention than it's already gotten. I don't even see... Oh, there's Jamie. Hey, Jamie. She could be anywhere, but I don't think that she's far. And this woman, like I said, I never heard of her till the last day or two, this Cheryl McCollum, she said, I don't think she's in Tucson, but I think she's close. She was kind of indicating that she might be in the surrounding desert. And there's just thousands of square miles of desert, I guess, around that area. I mean, it's kind of like Los Angeles. We're an urban city, but we're built on top of the desert. But this is extreme, This is like that drive between LA and Vegas where there's just nothing. And there's cacti and there's dry bushes that are thorny that will just slice you right open. There's rocks. There's boulders. The ground is not flat. You could twist an ankle. At this time of year, for sure, you could step on a rattlesnake. And this is mating season. You don't want to mess with a mama rattlesnake near her nest. It's just, this is a very bad time. Basically from spring on until late fall to have to go walking around in the desert. And by then, all the monsoonal summer rains will come. And then you'll have the flash flooding. And, a body, God forbid she's a body out there. I don't want to get gross. I got to be careful what I say, but things would change very quickly. That's all I'm going to say. Within a few days, things would change. And then you have the mountain lions. You have the rattlesnakes. I don't think the snakes would bother a deceased person. They will bother the searchers. But there's so many ground wildlife and hawks, and it's just not going to be a pretty sight. And pretty soon you're not looking for a body anymore. You're looking for pieces. You're looking for bones. I have been a metal detectorist for years, and between the professional beach cleaners, the volunteer beach cleaners that come out on weekends, the misdemeanor criminals who get beach duty, and the metal detectorists, we clean those beaches so that they're safe for people to walk around. Okay? It helps save the wildlife because of all the garbage that's out there. Metal detectors always leaves the place cleaner than when they arrived. If there was no metal detectors and beach cleaners and volunteers, you wouldn't be able to walk from the parking lot down to the sand. It would be so bad. And, there's just as much garbage floating around in the desert. Each searcher, every boot on the ground could carry a sack or a bag or a backpack something where they could pick up trash along the way. They could pick up anything suspicious that might look like a bone. There's probably all kinds of things blowing through the wind out there. And, there's also desert tortoises out there, and they could put their head through a piece of plastic and suffocate. Like, that would not only help exclude certain areas, but it would help clean the desert. It would help protect the wildlife. In the next, I think it's already too late. I think it's too late. They say they couldn't put dogs out there now because they'd only be able to use them for a few minutes. Jamie, you think inside and alive. Anything is possible, but I doubt it based on her health. No, you're not being disrespectful. Jamie says, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I think she may be inside of a home somewhere. She could be. But I don't think she's alive. That was Kelly saying, Jamie, you think alive, inside and alive. Jamie, yes, April, summer here came 2 months early. It's going to be hot until October here. Are you in California, where I am, where it's been blazing hot? I mean, last Friday it was 112 degrees. Not here, but, we had like 98. It's been in the 90s in LA since February. Okay? Can you imagine if it's that hot here, what it's going to be like there? I mean, oh my God. Like, you just can't last longer than 5 minutes in something like that. Why not put all the energy into the 22-year-old mother that was abducted last week? I'm not familiar with that, Cliff. This case has a lot of publicity because of who's involved. Cliff says, why would you think she's in a home? For what? Those ransoms were clearly BS drama. I think the ransoms were totally BS. Kelly Ray says it's like a crock pot. Absolutely, Kelly. Crypto, same time, all words that we have can't explain how we feel correctly. Kelly Ray says the weather, just saying there are so many others. Yeah, there are. And we do talk about others on my my YouTube, and I will continue since this seems to be quite popular with the audience. So my point that I made months ago, this person, this Cheryl, she is saying today, I think it was News Nation, and I saw her on another show too. It might have been Brian Enton. I don't know. I didn't know who she was until maybe last night. She's talking about this. We need boots on the ground. This is not a cold case, but we need to be searching. And I've heard figures that they seem kind of high, but they're probably not, that there are literally thousands of people that remains are lying out in the desert. And there's also growth of the desert plants out there. And they get big, in the spring. They have desert blooms and things can hide under there. I remember the girl that was distantly related to Ricky Schroeder, who disappeared in one of our deserts at Joshua Tree National Park, right around the time that I moved back to Los Angeles as a teen. And, that was such a tough search. They would find pieces of bone and not even know back then without DNA if it was animal or human, and everything would be inconclusive. And it's just very, very hard searching the desert. But, every time you're out searching the beach metal detecting, you're helping find missing things or missing wallets, or you're helping clean, you're helping the wildlife. Same thing with the desert. Clean it up. There's a one YouTuber, I'm not sure who he is, but he dedicated all of his money to buying this equipment to clean the oceans. And they've cleaned thousands of tons of trash out of the oceans. Now, and it's saving the planet. It's saving the wildlife. These people that have gone out searching for MH370, they haven't found it yet, but they've found some significant shipwrecks, one of which may be from the 1800s. That would have never been found if it weren't for the search for MH370. So even if you don't find Nancy, wonder if you could find somebody else that's missing that's out there. Why has all of this time been wasted? Why has the sheriff, why did he unsecure the crime scene in 20 minutes? Why did he turn away the Cajun Navy? I heard that they were instrumental in helping find victims of that Texas flooding that happened in the Texas hills last year. Like, why are people that want to volunteer being told you have to go get a permit, or don't step on private property, or you're going to get a trespassing charge? Like, don't you want help? Don't you want people out searching? And now in Arizona, it's almost too late. And by the time it cools off, it'll be like November and December. And by that time, there will have been umpteen floods that have gone through these deserts due to the summer storms that come up from Mexico. Those are real out there. The thunderstorms, the lightning, sometimes even fires due to lightning strikes. We get some of those monsoonal events here in LA or in Southern California. It's very rare that it stretches all the way here, but it can. And those can happen as early as June. It's almost April. Like, this is something that should have been done right away. I hear that the Cajun Navy, they have horses, they have ATVs, they have equipment that the police departments don't have. And they're not charging money. They're just trying to help. I don't understand this. Kelly says, I would have never known that. It looks so picturesque. Well, so does Highway 2 here in LA, and it's the largest dead body dumping ground in the world, or in the United States, excuse me. And it's gorgeous. It's up in the San Gabriel Mountains. And I don't like to drive it at all. I'll take the long way around on freeways before I'll drive over that too by myself, because there's too much sketch stuff going on out there. Sycamore, welcome in. The sheriff really wasted precious time. Yes, he did. Cliff Bonds says, Sheriff's Department totally mishandled that whole case. Almost from the start, they were making stupid, obvious mistakes. Yeah, and my question is, why? Yeah, there are fires. We get lightning fires all the time out here from the monsoonal storms. Nevada, Arizona, California, we get tens of thousands of lightning strikes during these monsoonal storms, and they often start forest fires. Even Alaska's had problems with that. Washington, Oregon, Montana, the whole West has had problems with lightning strike-driven fires. 75% of other departments would have 3 times the evidence. True. Now, we don't know everything that they have, because I've repeated many times here, it's like a 500-piece puzzle, and we only have 5 to 10% of the pieces. We, the public, meaning. That would be 25 to 50 pieces. It's really hard to put a 500-piece puzzle together if you only have 25 or 50 pieces. There's obviously things they know that we don't know, but the mistakes are so public. Like, why were you releasing the scene, and why were all these pictures allowed to be shown on the news and on the internet? And hi, Myra. Welcome in. Crypto. Kelly, try to explain to me because I'm very bad in English. Just keep watching and you'll learn. I'm sorry if I'm talking too fast. Clip-ons, they are always afraid of something might get out that they can't control, so they try to control who has that info. Let's see. Oh, thanks for running the chat, Kelly. Yeah, you're right. We have no idea what they haven't released, but some of it was terribly obvious stuff. Yeah. And if she is lying in the desert and she died within the first 24 hours, there's not much left to find at this point. But it's still not impossible. But, I mean, I know it would take an army. You could be searching for years for that one little clue, but I don't know. It made me sad after yesterday knowing if the FBI treated me that crappy, and how many other people did they treat like dirt? And if you don't know where the body is, they don't want to hear from you anymore. Oh boy. Oh, I have to put a user in timeout. You're gone. Like I said, when I get monetized, all these people are going to help. All the trolls can come in and we can take them out for 24 hours. Keep scrolling. Absolutely. Kelly says 84-year-old mother-grandmother was abducted, taken in early morning hours of 2/1/2026. Someone sent in ransom demands for money. Yeah, somebody actually sent in ransom demands for cryptocurrency, for Bitcoin specifically. And I don't think those were legit. A legit kidnapper will leave a ransom note at the scene of the crime or contact the family. They're not sending ransoms to television stations and TMZ. And when you don't take the medication, if it was meant to be a legit kidnapping, and you don't have a body, a living body to show proof of life, then your kidnapping plot is kind of like shot to hell. Shot to hell in a handbag. Many people believe this was not actually a kidnapping. There are blood droplets inside and out of the house. That is true. Yeah, I still have a problem with the timeline because they had the guy, the masked man, at the front door, which they know was February 1st when he had that hokey gun set up, if it was even a gun or a taser. And he's got the mask and he appears to have at least a double set of gloves. And then the pacemaker disconnected like 41 minutes later. Like, I almost hate to ask. Oh, 23 people. Welcome in. Make sure you guys are giving me a thumbs up. Smash that like button. I'm afraid to ask what a perp or multiple perps was doing in that house. They had to feel awfully comfortable. That's too long for a kidnapper. I mean, to get in and open that door and deactivate those cameras, wrap her up, carry her out, maybe 7 or 8 minutes. What was going on in that house for 41 minutes when the family doesn't believe anything is missing? Oh, thank you, Cliff. Yeah, and the nose bleeds a lot, especially with somebody who was probably taking a blood thinner. She had a pacemaker and needed to keep taking her meds. Absolutely. They knew where the cameras were and that nobody would bother them. Yes, exactly. And they've been there before on dress rehearsals. Jamie James, just the trauma alone for being abducted in the middle of the night alone can cause a heart attack. Oh, especially with someone who has the hearing aids. Those were off, and apparently when she takes them off and they're being charged, I guess, can you charge a hearing aid or is it simply a battery? But I know when she slept, she took them off and she had them on the nightstand, apparently. Apparently she cannot hear a thing without the hearing aids. Like nothing. And that's very common in people her age. The longer you live, the more of a chance you're going to lose your hearing because that's one of the last things to go. Even when you're actively dying, that's one of the last things to go is your hearing. Let's see, I'm missing some messages. Oh, yours are rechargeable, Jay. Okay. Kelly says battery. Most have batteries, but there are chargeable ones. Okay. Thank you, Hearts. Oh, long time no see, Hearts. Yeah, that is scary. So can you imagine you're lying in your bed in the middle of the night, asleep, and somebody comes in and steals you out of your bed? And how long were they in the house with her awake before they removed her from the house? How many people removed her? How did they enter? How did they exit? I believe they exited from the front door. It is an absolute nightmare. bothers me. And I'm a professional investigator. You know, I've had so many things that have happened in my career, but nobody got me. Nobody got me yet. Thank God. So I'm not one to get scared. If I was scared, I'd be in the wrong profession. But I think about that. Every little noise I hear at night now, because I sleep with a fan on to help drown out some of the noise from the neighbors. I can't sleep without a fan. If the power goes out, well, that's bad. It is heart-wrenching for sure. Yes, Hearts, I agree. Yes, front door based on the blood indoor and outdoor. Yeah, they haven't positively confirmed where the blood droplets were on the inside of the home. Unless something's recently been released, but I don't think so. Jamie James, I heard, but don't quote me, her doors were unlocked. It's been hard to believe most of these rumors. I heard that too regarding the back door, that sometimes she left the doors unlocked. I wouldn't, but they also said there was forced entry in the backyard, but nobody's been able to see where that was. There was a broken strobe and some of the cameras are smashed out, but there's also cameras inside that home. You know, when they kept talking about the front door camera, which they kept saying was a ring, but it was a Nest, and then there was 2 outdoor cameras. There's more than 2 outdoor cameras, and there's multiple cameras inside the house. Were those taken down? Were those smashed? Were those broken? There's so much misinformation out there. Even the timeline has misinformation. Crypto. All my admiration, respect for you. Good luck. And Bay Beautiful? Okay, whatever. Hi, Rita. Yeah, I don't know where to go with this. You know, I've been down about this ever since my call of the FBI. I thought that was going to make me feel better. It's made me feel worse. Because if I feel like they wasted my time and they don't care, then they don't care about other people. You know, I don't think they were just specifically picking me out. They don't know who I am. They must be treating everybody like crap. Maybe it was just the rep. Who knows? But it's not very hopeful to me. And it's day 53. And if she did pass the day of and she's been disposed of somewhere, there's, in that environment, there's not going to hardly be any trace of her left. Thank you, Hertz. Oh, and Kelly, thank you. I noticed that you are still like one of my most avid binge watchers. That's great. If you get tired of watching the lives, which I don't have that many of, you can always watch the regular videos too. Totally up to you. Yeah, it is very sad, Jamie James. And then I saw Savannah. I woke up to that today to see Savannah talking with what was her former co-host who had just left the show, but then she immediately had to come back because this thing happened with Savannah, this Hoda Kotb. And she was crying too in the interview. But you could see the tears streaming down Savannah's face, and they want her back. You know, even if the worst has happened, they want their mother back. And apparently there's going to be a part 2 of that interview coming out. I mean, it was just heartbreaking, you know, when the hostesses today, or the host and Coda or Hoda, they were sitting around the desk. Somebody, one of the male hosts, reached out to her arm like and said, "Are you okay?" Because they were all watching it on the prompt, you know, on the prompter, like the monitor in the studio. They were watching that live, and I mean, poor Savannah. She's just such a mess. The not knowing part is the worst. Oh, you found them, Kelly. I started watching them today. Yeah, it's on my main page if you just click videos. Jay says, I have heard Savannah is not hopeful she is still alive. Well, Yeah, I don't think too many people are. I mean, there's always that outside chance, but I mean, it's so slim to none. It's not even a percentage, in my opinion. Yeah. This is getting harder. I never thought I would be on here for 53 days. I mean, I know I missed February 6th because of my surgery. And I think there was one other day I missed. Probably some medical crisis, you know. I'm glad that I've built my channel up, but I don't want to build it because of a tragedy. Remember, I haven't made a dime off of this, so this has actually cost me, and I need to get more equipment if I want to keep going. And I'll let you guys know how that goes. It's a waiting game now. I will keep you guys updated along the way. Every step of the way, I will keep you guys updated. I will have some sort of a impromptu live party here, like a live stream, if and when I can accomplish that goal. I had mostly kind of just given up on that last year and wasn't even thinking about it. And then I started doing this true crime series, and then I started gaining, subscribers at a more faster rate than usual. And my views started going up, and I thought, maybe I could try for this. Basically, it'll be a start over again if it happens. So I'll have to keep going. And apparently YouTube doesn't pay near of what they used to, some RPMs now are as low as $1 per 1,000 views. So, and then they only pay you a month later after you've got $100 in your account. So then it has to roll over and everything has to start over again. So, oh gosh, I still had a little bit of money left in that account too when they took it down. So, well, they didn't take the account down. They just put me on a 90-day timeout, but then I deleted too many of my videos and I lost my watch hours. I didn't realize I was going to have to requalify with watch hours. I just thought it was like a 90-day thing, and then they would put me right back on. When you are ready, April, it's complicated. Jamie, April, you are pretty investigated in these topics. I think it's important to discuss these difficult issues. Well, I've spent 35 years full-time as a PI in California, and I've only been very part-time the last 7 years, like a teeny bit, just because of my health issues. And Kelly says she's a private investigator. That's why she sees the intricacies and is compelled to explain the case to others. Yeah, and I wish I could tell you more. I wish I could tell you who I dropped a dime on to the FBI. And I'm not even, 100% sure that this person is involved, but there are certain things that don't add up. And since, obviously the police and the FBI, they haven't figured it out, and I don't even know if they're close to figuring it out. It doesn't help. And I mean, it doesn't hurt. As Savannah said, even the smallest thing. Cliff Bonds. I don't think very many people think she is still alive without her meds, already in bad health. Yeah. I mean, she was 84. I'm young enough to be your daughter, and I'm just struggling to survive every day. Kelly says, right, sad, sweet, sleeping old lady asleep in her bed. I know, she did seem so sweet. That's what struck me right away, that she seemed to be a really nice person and a great mom, and she had to raise those kids on her own after she lost her husband. He was a mining engineer. In fact, that's how Savannah was born in Melbourne, Australia. He also spent some time in Singapore. It might have been before the kids were born, because he brought the wife a gift from there. He died on a mining job in Mexico. And she worked full-time, but she had to be both mom and dad. It's a little small here. Between me and the bunny and the cat, it's a little crowded here, Cliff. He says, yep, I'm going to pack up and move in with April so we can work together. Yeah, do you guys give me a yes or no? Do you think this crime is going to be solved? Yes or no in the chat. Hey, 23 people watching. I really appreciate every single person that comes in, even if they can just come in for a few minutes. Please smash that like button. Give me a thumbs up. Or you might even want to tap your screen for a red heart. Yeah, I was on a live today in the gold community with hearts, and so I actually looked at like, oh, that's where you push for the hearts and the smiley face, and they had a few other little emojis. Kelly says no. Hart says it may be a long time if it is ever solved. I'm thinking that too. That it could be solved still, but it could be a long time. Kelly says it's been too long at this point. Well, the most important thing is the first 24 to 48 hours. And that's when the biggest mistakes were made. We both won, April. I didn't win. I saw that you won, Hearts, and I congratulated you on the first duck races in the live that I was on earlier in the gold community. I came in second in I think it was the first duck race, but did I win something and I'm unaware of it, Hearts? No, I didn't win a bag. I wish, because I don't have any gold pay dirt right now. I would love to have some gold pay dirt, especially with my birthday coming up next month. Like, at my age, you never know when it could be your last. Hart says, I thought you did. Maybe you just missed it. And I was in the whole show till like the very last minute where they were going to give away something to one of their mods or something. That would be great. Let me know if anybody. If you think I did, Hearts, let me know where to look for it. Yeah, I came in second on one of the duck races. You have me questioning my sanity. Like, did I win? You know, like, yeah. If you guys are in the gold community, go check out GP and Mama Bird. Oh, okay, Hearts. Well, you won though, and you won a bag of gold, didn't you? How much did you win? Like a tenth of a gram or a quarter of a gram? What did you win? We're talking about the gold show we were in earlier today before I started this. That's why I'm a little late. Their shows always run really long, but it was well worth the watch. Well, back to this. I just, to recap what I said, everybody here is innocent until proven guilty, no matter who we're discussing. I have had a lot of live streams on this case. I never knew this would go this long. Obviously, at some point, we won't be able to talk about it forever because it's going to go cold at some point. I know the other, like the mainstream news, they've already moved on. I mean, they have to. There's other things to report. Okay, Hearts of Gold says, nope, a picker. Oh, yeah, you won the picker on a sticker from Megadog. That would be cool. I've never won one of those. A picker on a sticker. That would be cool. But in general, people just want to know and hope to find out what happened to her. Yes. And I think for the family's sake, for her sake, she should, if she is gone, she should be properly laid to rest instead of it just be hanging in the wind. I mean, what if they go the rest of their lives and the family and they never know? Especially with all the people that have pointed towards the family as being involved, even if they're not involved. Like, they're going to have to live with that every day. Like, people are watching them. People are pointing at them. In family pictures, they seem so close and caring. Yes, they do. Cliff says, everyone have a good evening. I'm going to try to be part of this group now. Oh, welcome in, Cliff. I hope you're subscribed. I need some real friends. Well, you got friends here. Have a good night, Cliff. I appreciate you coming in and contributing to the chat. Yeah, so, my mind goes back and forth, if this is going to be solved. I think it's too early from an investigative standpoint. It's way too early to call it a cold case. But the longer it goes, every single hour is important, especially at the beginning. And for every hour and then every day and every week and every month that passes, the chances drop dramatically. But even if they don't ever find out who did this, just to be able to have found her would be better than nothing. Than to just, it's like all those families who really don't know about MH370. I don't know if somebody was asking me about those videos last night. They're in my video tab. I think about that lady in Australia. Her name was Danica Weeks, and she had those 2 little boys. And her family was really getting upset with her. And so I think her husband's family too. They were like, you need to tell those boys what happened. You've got to have a funeral. You've got to put him to rest or have a celebration of life. And you need to tell your boys. And she's like, well, what am I going to tell them? There's like 10 different possibilities here. We don't know what happened. We don't know if the plane crashed. We don't know what's happened. And now that woman she's found, she got remarried. And I think why she married that guy is they met online actually, and they went out on their first date. And while he was getting to know her, that very first date, he immediately was like, I'd like to meet your boys. I'd like to take them to the beach. And those boys needed a father so bad. Hopefully she's like totally in love with the guy, but he's always said, like, they've asked him, well, what would you do if her husband, she calls him, his name was Paul, but she calls him Polly. What happens if Polly walks through that door? And he says, then I'll be walking out the back. And that guy has to live with that, that's his wife and those are his sons now. But God forbid, in his mind, that they find, one of these people are on an island. And, I don't think they are. I think they're at the bottom of the Indian Ocean somewhere. But what would you do if, remember the movie with Tom Hanks, Castaway? And now Helen Hunt's character, she's already moved on. And she's married with a kid. And he walks through the door. He comes back. It's just so hard not knowing. And this is going to affect Savannah, her siblings, her children, all the grandchildren, the entire family. This is going to affect them every day for the rest of their lives. Something like this happened in my own family, but decades before I was born. And that was always like a cloud hanging over their head. It never goes away. Let's see. What did I miss? I'm sorry. April, do you think they messed up on purpose? I don't know, because it depends on what the true motive was. Oh, hi, Brenda. Hi, cuz. What did the FBI not want to listen to you? Why did the FBI not want to listen to you? Because I didn't have the location of the body, apparently. They should seriously listen to someone with the experience you have. Yeah, you'd have to see yesterday's show, and I go over it. I thought it would make me feel better just to get this off my chest. It's a 500-piece puzzle. The public has, maybe 5 or 10% of the pieces. So the authorities, law enforcement obviously they have more than what the public has and the YouTubers have and even the mainstream media. But there's just a certain person who I can't go into that things don't add up and they could be part of a bigger group. It needs to be checked out. That's all I'm saying is that I'm not saying this person did it, but this if you don't have any more clues and the leads are drying up, this is one person who most likely has some information. They don't care. If they cared about anything that I said, I would have heard from a special agent by now, because I don't think they're that drowning in clues anymore. They would get back to me pretty soon if they thought I had something credible. But, when they're not even writing down or listening to what you're saying, it's a lost cause. But I remember the date and the time, and I documented it here, because if and when this is ever solved and that person is part of it, I'm dropping my dime to my contact who knows Savannah Guthrie to say, hey, I'm the one that, might have pointed them in the right direction, and, I want to share my reward. And I'm not doing it for the reward. There's a friend of mine, a very close friend of mine. She was over here a few days ago, and she was like, you should call and you should tell them you're a PI. And, with everything that's happened to you health-wise, that reward could change your life. And I'm like, yeah, because then I won't end up in the next couple of years with my pets being homeless and me living in the backseat of a car. Because that's where I'm headed, being disabled with, the economy out of control. And, I don't have a 6-figure business anymore. I don't have a monetized YouTube channel. I'm not a convicted felon who's making 30 grand a month on YouTube through super chats and views. That would totally change my life, even if I had to share it. But that's not why I wanted to call it in. I wanted to call it in because any little piece of information helps. And I've had this information since February 13th. February 13th, but it was just like, I don't know enough. But then more things started to come out, and it just kept gnawing at me. And I thought, I got to do this. I just got to get this off my chest. Just trying to help. Do you think they messed up on purpose? I don't know. I don't know, Hearts. Especially after they moved everyone off the street by the house. I just don't know. I mean, some days I think I've got it all figured out, and then I'm like, I'm doubting myself. Because I am not involved in this case professionally. I'm not investigating this case. And I have no access to information more than what you guys have. It's just that I've got 42 years of investigative experience, and that's what I'm really good at. And there is a person of interest that needs to be followed up on. But the FBI would have to get 2 agents involved, and they would have to get on a plane. That's all I'm saying. And they would have to physically fly somewhere to get to this person. And if this person is part of a bigger operation, which I think this is, and they're the first to go down, somebody's going to start singing like a bird. Lori, yeah, that would be part 2 of the interview they showed today. Today was only part 1. Hoda is going to interview Savannah tomorrow on the Today Show. Whoops, I'm really behind. God, I missed a lot. Yes, Lori, it's already been recorded and will show tomorrow. I will cry. I know that. Yeah, I watched it 3 times today, the part 1, and it's just, my heart is aching. Yeah, I'm not going to get up in, the middle of the night to tune into the Today Show. That's for sure. With the sleeping hours I get around here, I'll see it when I get up. No, don't feel bad, Hearts. She says, I hope I'm wrong, but I keep thinking it is somewhat political. Sorry. No, don't. There's nothing wrong with that. Hello, New Zealand. Welcome back in. Where's my viewer from Australia tonight? We've been getting New Zealand, Australia, Brazil, India, the UK, Canada. But you're just giving info, and it is their job to put the puzzle together. Yeah, I gave them the name. The full name, not just a nickname, but the full name and their location. Oh, I like that, Kelly. Hey, Kiwi. He's gone on a walkabout. I think it's a woman, I think. And I always say, good day, mate. And then I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, my Aussie accent's not so good. Like when I talked about my French Canadian Scottish stepmom. That sounds British. My Canadian friend would just be laughing so hard. Well, you're really getting out to people. That's great. Yeah, I love it. Especially being an Angelino, we have people from all over the world that live here. I've got friends from all walks of life. I must have missed something. Kelly says, right, so now they need to do something. Who are we talking about? Oh, the FBI? I've told you this before on a few times in my career earlier on. When I worked for a company before, well, I actually got my license while I worked for that company, but we did the PI part, and then we did what was called the 5150 half of the company. And there were a lot of like celebrity involved cases where sometimes the LAPD had botched it and the FBI was then involved and they botched it. Excuse me. I'm not hydrating enough. And I need to, because that little stone that was removed apparently is still there in pieces. So I need to keep hydrating. As soon as I get off the air, I'll be like, oh, okay, I'm fine. Okay, it's getting late for me. Oh, yeah. I have a 5:30 a.m. wake-up call. Have a good night, hearts. I hope you're feeling better. Yeah, I gave them info, the FBI, yes. And I don't know why this hasn't come up more. And there's been somebody that's written me a couple times and was like, you're the only person, and I've been watching your videos from day one, and you're the only person on YouTube that's still talking about this as a possibility. Watch my videos. Maybe you'll figure it out. Just like I'm the only one to this day, 53 days later, that has ever mentioned the second mortgage and some of the financial issues. Hi, Carla Palmer. Where are you coming in from? I haven't seen you before. Welcome in. Welcome to my channel. So yeah, this whole Savannah interview today, although important, it just, I don't know. I'd love to play it for you. Before, when she did some of her Insta videos, and I would like play them I can't do that right now because I'm in the process of trying to get remonetized, and I just can't replay anything in any form or fashion, not even audio. But it's all over the internet. You can see it. And it's only a very small part of the interview. I don't know how many parts they're going to do it in. It was obviously pre-recorded between her and Coda at the Today Show, but she's not like returned to work or anything like that. It's a tearjerker. And Katie, or no, I keep calling her Katie, like Katie Kirk. I don't know why. It's like I keep calling Joseph Duggar Joshua, like his brother. But Savannah, she's such a cute girl, and she's just looking rough, since this happened. She says she wakes up every night thinking about, her mom being taken out of her bed in the middle of the night. And when you're going through things, That's what it affects the most, is especially like your sleep and your sleep habits and your patterns. And it's so physically and mentally draining to not sleep well. I'm the number one insomniac in the world, so it even affects your dreams. It can be stressful just going to bed at night. She has aged due to sadness. You just want to send people hugs. I've said that all along, but I don't know her, but I would love to just give her a big hug. I'd love to talk to Nancy Grace about this. And it's not like we're best friends, but I have met her. But she's not like my best friend or anything, but I could have some really good conversations with her because she's a lawyer, and because of my PI job, I have to think like a lawyer. Oh, you just subscribed. Who is this? Blue Rose Ramblings. Welcome in, Blue Rose. Where are you coming in from? I appreciate the subscribe. Carla, I didn't see you. Did I mention you, Carla? Oh, I think I did. If I didn't, I'm sorry. Jamie James says, off to get some laundry done. See you soon. You want to come over next and do mine? Yeah, my energy is gone. I've spent the last 2 days going to CVS 4 different times. And with limited use of my legs, I've had to walk, from the front of the car to the front door to the back of the pharmacy and back to the car 4 different times in the last 24 hours. So I haven't even taken out my recycle bag today. Heidi. The porch guy signals to someone off camera. He points to his watch and nods. That's quite possible, Heidi. Good seeing you too. Hey, Arizona Desert Walker. You missed a lot of this. Unless you were just lurking in the background. I do that a lot, because I'll be, running an errand or picking something up at the store, like the pharmacy, like yesterday and today. And I'm like, I'm here. I'm just, I'm driving, or I'm at the pharmacy line. I don't think it's a watch. I thought they now say it's a tattoo. Well, yes and no, as far as what I think. I first thought it was a wristband from a watch, like a dark colored watch. And then a lot of people online, were saying, that's a tattoo. And then they got AI involved. And you can't really see because, he's got the sleeves on and he's got at least 2 pairs of gloves on. And it's nighttime. But you just see a little dark spot there. So then they get AI. And if you've ever tried AI, just go to ChatGPT. And they'll look you up on the internet, and all the people, all these pictures they're creating now that are animated, they all look like the same person. There's no way AI can see what's on this person's arm. And so everybody's like, oh, it's a Mexican gang tattoo, and it's a guy with a hat. Or have you ever considered that it's hair? Some people are hairy. There are some countries where it's like a person looks like a bear. It could be hair. It could be a tat. It could be a piece of jewelry. It could be a watch. Exactly, Jay. People are too vested in this. It's a tattoo. And let's look through a list of suspects now that have come out of the prison system that had these tattoos when they went in, because they don't take exit pictures, which is dumb, because that's where most felons get their tats, are behind bars. But they take tat pictures going in, but not going out. And therefore it's a Hispanic. Therefore it's more specifically a Mexican. Therefore he's in a gang. We don't know any of that it's a Mexican who's from a gang. We don't even know that that's a tattoo. It could be a watch. It could be a bracelet. It can be hair. I mean, the guy's wearing long sleeves. He obviously wants to cover up as much as he can. But he can't cover up his height, his approximate weight, the shape of his legs because his pants are kind of tight. And then just the fact that this guy is not used to being armed, because that holster is just, that's a joke. It's so much a joke that we don't even know if the alleged GUN is actually a GUN. It could be a taser that resembles a Glock. I mean, that's just dumb. What is that about? And they're like, oh, well, that's how the gangs wear the guns. There's 70,000 gang members. I've probably come across half of them in my job. I've never seen them walking around with a gun on their belt buckle. And that person who put the plants up at the camera, they've been there before. And they purposely put their head down when they walked up because they didn't want to be in view of that camera. They knew that camera was there. They knew that camera was there. God, I wish she'd had a subscription. And it wasn't like a money issue, you know? But we don't know. We don't know who may have been pressuring her for money. If the second loan turns out, well, that's actually true. And then there's the rumor about the unpaid property taxes, but that's just a rumor. And just because another YouTuber who's not the best source of information claimed that was confirmed doesn't mean that that's confirmed either. The only thing that we know is that somebody came into that house unauthorized and somebody took her. And we know that it wasn't a case of a mental situation where she just wandered off. It's nothing like that. She didn't, smash her cameras and break her strobe light and wander off. Yes, Kelly, an annoying guesstimate in regards to Jay's comments. AI is a guesstimate. I mean, maybe the guy could be covered in tats. That might not be a tat. Could be a watch, a bracelet, hair. They think the guy on his right hand has a ring. But he's got too many gloves on. That may not be a ring at all. Some people think that it's a woman. I don't think it's a woman. But I think it is a male that has effeminate-looking eyebrows. Oh, hi, Brooke. I'm just coming in, but still no word on location. Location of what? Did I miss something, Brooke? Not a woman, he's a metrosexual. Well, remember, I used to be calling the guy at the front door Metro guy. I called him Metro Man. And then I finally stopped using that because I didn't want that to sound offensive. Yeah, Brooke, there's no word. And, I would have said I would still encourage people to call the FBI if they thought they had a clue, but you don't know where that body is. You don't know where Nancy is. Don't waste your time. Too bulky in a male's body type. Yeah. He's definitely under 6 feet tall, like probably 5'9", 5'10". Likes to wear tight-fitting pants. And I do think he is the same person that was caught on the camera on the prior date. That was obviously not February 1st because the moon was not all bright like it was the day of the disappearance or the day of the abduction. That was actually full moon. You can see how dark it is in the background on that other date, which may or may not be January the 11th. I'm not sure about Nest. I have Ring, and my Ring does get audio too. But that's a good question. When subscribed? I'm subscribed, obviously, because I'm Fort Knox here. And it's not just if somebody were to ring the doorbell, because hardly anybody does that. They just knock on the damn door. Like, I hate that. It scares the bejesus out of my animals. And some people are like, bang, 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 bang. We have this guy that lives here who's a high-functioning autistic, and it's like he's taken a baseball bat to the door. And I've had to discourage him from knocking on the door because they said, you're scaring my animals. And our manager, she could be at a door at the back end of the building, and she can pound so loud that you think somebody's trying to break in. The building literally shakes. Like, there's no need for that. Right. He was there previously, maybe scoping it. Yeah, therefore he would have already known about that camera. So the whole thing is ridiculous. And how did he even grab the handful of plants with, it looked like he had boxing gloves on because he had so many gloves on. I think he had more than one pair. Like maybe he had a medical type of glove and then another glove over it. And those would have to be a much bigger size because just like in the O.J. Simpson case, when he tried to put on the glove and it didn't fit, well, that was because he had a medical glove on, plus those gloves had shrunk. Heidi. Hello, Heidi. He signals right after picking vegetation. He picked vegetation to signal something, maybe to a partner. Possible. Some people thought that he was using the vegetation to try to take the nest off the bracket that's screwed into the front door. Well, it's actually not on the door. It was like on the rim. Extremely ridiculous to do that to that old lady, and uncertain it's nothing to do with her personally. Yeah, I think he was wearing more than one pair of gloves. Nobody, just look at the guy's hands. It doesn't look right. I think he was trying to rub vegetation on camera to disrupt the video. That's so weird. Even listen to the police and the FBI, and nobody can figure that out. I've never seen anything like that in my career, somebody doing something like that. And if he needed, tools to disassemble, he should have just reached into his backpack. I've had a few that, I had one that was a celebrity thing while the whole family was under threat. And, it was just weird. And then, yeah, I've had a lot of weird stuff, especially like stalkers, harassers, when they send gifts, and it's just like, you got to go up to some movie star's house in the middle of the night because, somebody delivered a bag of bones. Yeah. My mind was just thinking about those things. Why did he need a backpack? Apparently he didn't bring tools for a robbery. Exactly. What was in the backpack? Maybe there was a safe in that house. They were going to do some safe cracking while they were there. Don't know. We don't know if anything's missing from her safe. Well, the plants, if they are broken, can be sappy to rub on the lens. Oh, hi, Mike. Welcome in. He could have had a tarp or something. I was thinking that too, like a tarp or a blanket and some tools. Trish, The video didn't come out until weeks after the fact, but why wasn't the bracket, rug, and vegetation collected in the event there would have been some kind of DNA? I know, right? Oh, yeah. That bracket was still there. And then the doormat. And then the vegetation and the blood mixed together. And then Amazon delivered some packages on the right side of the where they tried to put it off to the side where it wasn't like touching the blood, but oh my god. And then the pizza's coming and the mailman having to reach into the box every day to deliver the mail because the police didn't think to have her mail held. Now someone should still be checking the box every day in case a ransom letter, somebody rides by in the middle of the night and stuffs a ransom note in there or something. But, this is Detective School 101. You got to get your pizza. Every time I was watching some of these other YouTubers and they're like, oh, here's the pizza. I was like, oh, now I want a pizza. I can't order. It's like $30 to order a pizza now in LA, and that doesn't include the fees and the tip. There's this place that's pretty close to me called Prime, and it's the best pizza place in LA. That was the place I was trying to order from the night of the Oscars, but instead of that restaurant, they sent me one that was over the hill in Hollywood. And I was like, well, why would they send me all the way over? Like, oh, geez. And then I had to wait 3 hours before they would cancel it. And then they took my coupon, and I was just like, oh my God, I want just a little piece of pizza. And not even any meat because since the cancer, the only thing I can eat is chicken. And in fact, I was even off that for years. I haven't had a piece of beef since 2020. Dang, I just want pizza. Oh, DoorDash is expensive, yeah. No, I was on Uber Post. Yeah, I very rarely ever do DoorDash because they're too expensive. You will watch Nancy Grace. Yeah, I still love Nancy. I do. But that show that she currently has is way pre-recorded as far as I'm concerned. And if you hear her say, this is day number, that's been pre-recorded days ahead of time. And then they can edit that out if things change. Oh, you can hear a click? I have a pen in my hand. Let me put it down. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. I apologize, everybody. Yeah, I was just like fidgeting, like with the lid like this. Thank you, Kelly. Peter, welcome in. Pizza here in the UK costs only £22, including delivery. Oh, hi, Kitty. Well, how much is £22 in American money? Does anybody know? I don't know the conversion rate right now. Look who just woke up from her nap. See, look at that sourpuss look on her face. Because she knows I was going to kiss her. Unlike my male animals who want to be kissed all day, my females, both the bunny and the cat, just freak out. Trish, Nancy Grace with her eye makeup and the way she has her brow shaped always looks so ticked off. She doesn't come across that way though in person at all. She's a love muffin. Did not like Nancy Grace until I saw her on Tyler Henry. Yeah, what you see on that show, that's I know she's a lawyer and she's a broadcaster, but she's also one heck of an actress because I can't get too personal here, but she's a love muffin. Yeah, if you met her in person, you'd love her. Oh, Kitty, Jane says hello. Oh, now she's licking her. She's washing her face because I kissed her. She's so upset. She is the cutest. Her name is Kelsa. And there's plenty of videos on her, too. Some people, for some reason, think I only have live videos. And mostly, I have long-form content videos. So be sure to check those out or go to the playlist. Oh, hey, Humble Stacker. Fist pump to you, too. Oh, okay, Peter. So 22 pounds converts to about 25 US dollars. And is that everything? The fees, the tax, the tip? Her name is Kelsa. Kelsa Kitty. And her sister, who is my rescue rabbit, is Amelia Kinsley. 22 pounds to US dollars, $29.39. That's still just too much for a pizza. It's dough and a few ingredients for Pete's sake. I know. The tip and the tax. She's still washing. She's so like disgusted with me, right? And she knew it. She doesn't even like to be picked up because she knows I'm going to give her kisses. You know, she doesn't mind when she's like asleep and I tell her how much I love her and she'll roll over and stretch out and say, rub my belly, kiss my belly. And most cats won't do that. And they're, speaking of the bunny, oh my God, she's right behind me and she very rarely makes an appearance. And she has, I finally got some, through my credit card that I use for my Amazon account, for my Prime account, I get monthly rewards. And I like to use it for myself on a special treat. But no, I bought a new little bunny castle because the cardboard one that she and her sister have been fighting over is completely destroyed. So tomorrow it's finally arriving and I'm going to be putting together a little bunny house. It looks like a little castle, and I know those little things along across the top, they'll probably be chewed within a day. The cat will probably jump on top of it and they'll fight over it. And there goes another, $20+ but it only cost me out of pocket 55 cents because I use my reward. I try to use my rewards for food because I'm always a couple grand short on that in my cash account because I can never catch up. Just as I start to catch up, something else happens. Something else needs to be paid. Or I never lived like this before I got disabled. Like I never had to think about, I can't buy that today because I didn't bring that coupon, or it's ridiculous. That's why if I can get this monetization, and it is in process, that's all I can tell you. There is some good news since yesterday. Well, since midnight today, or midnight this morning. There is some good news. But we're going to have to wait 48 hours to potentially even 30 more days. So keep watching. Trish says, I can make a wicked home pizza. The secret is the sauce. Use 2 crushed Roma tomatoes as the sauce. That sounds good, Trish. Drum roll, please. You know what? All these people want to send me stuff sometimes. I need like a little bell. I used to have a little soundboard where you could push the buttons and it would be an applause or a boo or, a boom, or I need a little sound, one of those little things that you get like on Amazon for $20, or even like a little bell or a little cowbell. I don't want to use like a horn because it will scare the bejesus, or like a gong. Like, oh, that would just like the rabbit would die because of their sense of hearing. They can hear like a couple miles away. We had a bunny named Binocula. She would bite us occasionally. I'm going to fly to LA and take that pen out of your hand. I did it again. Thank you for telling me, Kelly. Maybe just a little squeaky toy. Thank you, Kelly, for telling me twice. I didn't even know I did that. I really didn't even know. I'll play that back and it'll bother me. Like, dang it, April. Why did you do that? But yeah, let's end this video on a positive note. Yeah, I'm getting closer. But even when I get it, and we have this little online, well, hopefully it's going to be a big online party, and every single one of you guys are invited. And I want everybody to share it, like, hey, we're going to an online party for April Davis PI, and then we are starting at 0. And I read last night that some RPMs are down to like $1. So can you imagine if you have, like, for every 1,000 views, you make $1, and you have to have $100 in the account just so they can make a payment the following month? Like, I don't know if I'll live long enough to see $100. Like, then it's really going to be hard because, it's going to be hard. And YouTube takes 45% of the video revenue for the AdSense, or from the AdSense, and they take at least 40% from any of the super chats, super thanks. Well, I'll still have my other links just in case, but you guys don't need to send anything. Just keep watching. Yeah, I never thought that would happen again. I'm there, but I can't throw the party yet because they could easily say no. Oh, Trisha, I missed this. We had a hamster called Peabody because he would pee on you if you tried to pet him or lift him up. Oh my God. But thank you, Trish. Of course I want watch hours ongoing because it can take them up to 30 days to look at my numbers and see what's shaken and what's not shaken. If they just see the train come to a crashing halt, that could be bad. So just keep watching. Yes, once I will have that membership button again once the monetization is handled. And unlike the last time where I could apply for the many, which would have included the super thanks button and the membership button, they did not offer that to me because I hit the 3,000 about a week or so ago, and they should have offered me that immediately. And I even tried to contact, but you can't contact anybody directly. You can only talk to AI if you're not monetized. So it's like, well, just F it. Screw them. I'll just keep going and I'll hit the full. And then I thought I was going to have to start a whole new application, but they just tell you, like, make sure you do this, this, and this, and click the reapply tab. And I clicked, and that was it. And it was like, okay, you're done, and you can be waiting till up to 30 days. Goodbye. And I was just like, I did it in the middle of the night, but yeah, still keep watching those videos. I know. Even at the FBI. Yeah. Well, and you know what? While I've been sitting here, and not the Dodgers season, which starts tomorrow evening, but there's one game right now, opening night, but I chose not to spend the $7.99 on Netflix today. I thought, you know what? I need to go live, and we need to talk about Nancy. But there is actually a real game that's going on right now. But I'm an Angelino, not a Yankees fan. But still, I'd like to kind of know what's going on. And then yesterday was the last spring game, and I missed the first 4 innings because I thought it was coming on at 6:05, and it must have come on at 5:05. And one of my viewers was like, "Hey, it's a 3-0 Angels in the bottom of the 4th," and I was like, "What?" And it was the warm up for Shohei Ohtani. He had like 11 strikeouts. Now it doesn't mean anything because it was spring, but I was like, "Oh my God, I'm missing the last game." This was a good show. Lots of info discussed. Actually, I thought I didn't have much info. I just had like a little notepad here, but thank you. And remember, this is going to be our motto here, especially on the true crime videos. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. And thanks for all the new people that came in. I haven't seen you. I don't think I've seen you. Is it Trish or Trisha? And Blue Rose. Who else came in new tonight? I've had a Heidi before, but I don't know if it's the same Heidi. Let me know. Sorry, I had an itch on my nose. Wow, 23 thumbs up. Everybody, if you haven't given this a like, smash that like button. Okay, yeah, Kelly. Safety first. Need food and drink. Absolutely. I just need more drinks. I need to keep drinking and drinking and drinking. Oh, okay, Trish. Yeah, and remember, besides the lives, I have plenty of long-form content. I guess some people that don't watch YouTube very often, they don't know that there's the multiple tabs. New Heidi, you feel Heidi from Florida. Well, welcome in, Heidi from Florida. Okay, everybody, we got 16 people watching. We got 23 thumbs up. Make sure everybody subscribe. Click the bell icon. Highlight all. And keep watching my post. It used to be called the community tab. Now it's called the post tab. That's very important that you guys check that out because if I am to receive any good news between now and the next 30 days, I will probably give a short notice heads up on the post tab, and everybody is invited to that party. Mods, get ready. Yeah, me too, Jay. I drink and drink, and I'm up 2 to 3 times a night, and I still wake up dehydrated. You're welcome, Heidi. Good night, Jay. Okay, that's it. Bye-bye.